This latest change comes after several enhancements to the Secretary of State office. According to Jocelyn Benson, these changes are more convenient and better than ever. With this new bill, it allows individuals the option to either continue renewing their tags annually or opt into a 2-year registration. When it comes to extending the amount of time between vehicle registration, everyone seems to be on board. Do you think this is a good idea?
I do. I think it's a really good idea because the Secretary of State is having issues with people going in and the number of people that work there, right? So if you can go for 2 years, I think it's fantastic. I think it's the way to go.
Governor Whitmer issuing a statement when she signed the bill into law saying, quote, "These changes will build on the many new convenient services offered by the Secretary of State to put Michigan families and small businesses first." Residents agree.
It'll be a lot more convenient. And then plus I help my mother-in-law get her tabs. It'll be easier to get hers for 2 years. So I can't wait for it.
That'll help too because it's actually extending the amount of time, so you'll be like, okay, let me get this in order so I won't have to be trying to rush to get to the Secretary of State to renew my tag. So.
Even those who are critical of Governor Whitmer say this is a step in the right direction.
Well, I'm not a big fan of Governor Whitmer as a whole, but I do think that's actually slightly intelligent where we don't actually have to come down here every single year or worry about mailing the tags in. I'm all about efficiency.
Governor Whitmer also signed a bill allowing for no-cost registration renewal for some agricultural and industrial vehicles. Do you see any negatives with this?
No, none at all. Just forgetting, right? Because you're used to doing it every year, but I don't think that's be a big problem.
Now, these changes aren't set to begin until late next year.
Serious in some cases for children. It can also be found in some adults. One local Mid-Michigan doctor says that cases so far this year are on par of what they've seen in years previous. A doctor at Ascension says that she has seen an increase in cases, especially in the last few weeks. The symptoms could include coughing, wheezing, and shortness of breath.
The best way to protect yourself and children from RSV is to excellent hand washing. RSV is transmitted both by respiratory droplets, but also when those droplets get on surfaces, so touching surfaces that haven't been cleaned or other people are touching them.
Dr. Marshall says it is also important before gathering with family and friends to make sure everyone is feeling healthy and not have any symptoms like a cough, runny nose, or fever. Testing for RSV is very similar to a COVID-19 test.
It's a simple nasal swab. It does go pretty deep back into the nasal space.
Not only should we be worried about RSV cases, but also other viruses are going around this time of year. Dr. Marshall says this is because we are spending more time inside.
We're also seeing flu. Influenza has started this year and can affect both children and adults. Another one for young kiddos is what people often think of as croup or kind of that barky cough. That's caused by another respiratory virus called parainfluenza virus, but we've been seeing a number of cases of that as well.
Dr. Marshall says that there is no vaccine for RSV. According to the CDC, cases in the state of Michigan for RSV are on the rise. As of October 30th, there was an 18.3% positivity rate.
Like many businesses throughout the pandemic, Holly Lane's Bowling was not in great shape. The owner here tells me they're happy to have a second chance.
We were 9 days away from having to close our doors.
Back in January, Opashan said he was losing between $20,000 to $25,000 every month. He says he was trying everything.
I had emailed Dave Portnoy and the Barstool Fund 29 days in a row. And every night at the end of the night, that was my job, send him an email. And I just kept sending, and I'd cut a video every once in a while. And I think it was the 29th or the 30th day, they emailed me, they're like, listen, we got your email.
Opashan says he received a call 2 days later from Dave Portnoy, and the Barstool Fund started sending him around $20,000 a month. He credits that money for saving his business.
We are back to a position where we know we're safe, and we know we're going to be able to be here for the community for a very long time. And we're booked out now through the end of January. Whereas last year I'm going, I don't even know if I can pay the electric bill.
This is something many would have missed out on if the place would have closed down 9 months ago. The owner here tells me the most important lesson coming out of this is to always have hope.
A civil society is based on laws and processes. And we failed miserably this week in a major city in our state.
Genesee County Clerk John Gleason says there's more conflict and controversy regarding the November 2nd election. Monday, he shed light on what he calls the invalid swearing in of the new Flint City Council due to results being uncertified. Now he says it's been brought to his attention that one of the 4 Genesee County canvassers holds an elected office in the county, which is not allowed by the law. Gleason says he raised concerns about the appointment weeks ago.
I didn't know if it was the best decision at that time, but the Republican Party advanced her name, and the Genesee County Board of Commissioners selected her to serve on the Board of Canvassers.
Mid-MichiganNow reached out to the canvasser in question, who shared she plans to resign. Joshua Freeman, a spokesperson for the Board of Commissioners, says they haven't received a letter of resignation, but did address the situation, releasing this statement that reads in part, "The board sent a letter to all candidates asking for their experience with elections and qualifications for the position. There was no information submitted by any candidate that said they held elective office." Gleason says the pending resignation won't stop the certification process.
We have another Republican that serves on the Board of Canvassers and 2 Democrats. So we had the majority to hold the meetings.
Mid-MichiganNow also reached out to the Secretary of State's office for clarity. A spokesperson shared this passage from the manual of the Board of County Canvassers that says an elected officer may not serve on the board. As for the looming certification, SOS spokesperson Tracy Wimmer says canvassers have up to 14 days following an election to complete a canvass, and until results are certified, all results are unofficial.
We can get everything back on schedule. We just got to quit blaming each other and don't fight.